Hey everybody, it's David. Week 3, MSOM, 600 in the books. You're getting close to halfway finished. Wouldn't that be great, right? I always tell students, it seems like that flies by for me. Probably not so much for you, right? This was a busy week. Week 3 was busy in that any time that you have to focus on APA, um, it is a busy week. And so this week you focused on research, you focused on APA citations, references. Um, Make sure you use the material that I provide too. This week I put in the announcements and sent out to you a couple of websites in addition to the videos that you have in the class. Um, and make sure that you focus on those. This week in the discussion forums, you did a pretty good job of supplying sources that you found and sharing those with your fellow classmates. And so that is really, really good. Let me give you a quick tip here. Something that sometimes students just forget is available. Sometimes the best place to find a source is to use a source used by your source. So if you go to the CSU online library and you find a really great article, okay, so a really good peer-reviewed journal article, you can get to the bottom of uh, of that particular journal article and look at their reference section. And inside of that will be all the references they used building their paper. Uh, so I remember when I was building some part of the doctoral work that I was working on early in my academic career. Uh, that's one of the prime locations that I found for information was the sources used by my sources. And so I'm not talking about just repeating those, actually going to the source, because sometimes there's a concept called using secondary sources. Um, that is kind of lazy way of doing it. But if you actually go to that source and find the material that's there, chances are you may find some really good material that you can use in your paper going forward. So take that as an opportunity. So all those good sources you found, go to their reference page and see who they used. Right? Okay. And then this week, also in the short answer. Um, if you look at those, what I try to do in the citations and the references is use the most commonly used citations and references. And so for the most part, what I found is if you get those things and become familiar with those things, then you're going to handle a significant majority of the formatting for the citations and references that you'll have in this degree program. Okay? And then the paper this week, hopefully you're able to follow me. This week I started doing a comments on the margin, so I saved that as a file. And then you'll also see a video, both on the short answer and also on the paper, of Follow My Mouse, and you'll hear me talking about your paper. And so students in the past have told me they find that very helpful. So I wanted to do that this week to kind of get you started and moving in the right direction. Um, a couple of things. Just make sure that you use the template that I've provided. Some of you are starting to move the headings around and all that. It doesn't make sense to do that. Just use the things that I have there, and I put those together for a purpose. Um, Make sure that you're detailed in your content. This just isn't about finding a source and putting your source down and then moving on. If your source was good enough to include in your paper, you are obligated to tell us why. And so it's just not about find a source and put a source just to accomplish some sort of quota for finding sources. It should have a reason for being in your paper. And then I would encourage you to dig deep into these as you go forward. So week 3 complete. Week 4 starting up. You'll see something from me probably the middle of the week where I'm going to make a proposal out to you all to set up some Zoom meetings with me to review your papers. I always like to do that Again, I don't force you to do it, but students again who do this tend to tell me at the end it was very, very helpful. So you don't have to wait for that either. If you want to chat with me, I'd be more than happy to set up time to talk to you about your paper. All right? Take care. Have a great week.